Everybody, this is Kody B coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah. Welcome to this week's version of our Relationship Marketing Weekly show. Very excited for the guest that we have on our show today. His name is Brian Baity. He's with Brian Baity Studios out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Brian, welcome to our call today.
Thank you, Kody. It's a pleasure to be here.
It looks like you're in your home studio, right? Good-looking couch sitting on there, enjoying a nice sunny afternoon there in your home.
Yes.
So Brian comes from the art studio world. I'm really excited about this because I've never interviewed anybody from your industry before. So this is going to be kind of cool, very educational for all of us. Brian, one of the first things that we always like to do is just kind of give you a first 60 seconds or so, just have you briefly describe what your business is, how you conduct business, how you generate revenue. Can you just kind of give us a broad stroke of your studio?
Sure. Carving is my main industry. I carve eggshells, gourds, wood, also jewelry. I make jewelry and photography. So that's the gist of it. And then most of my marketing is done with send-out cards. About probably 85 or 90% of my marketing is done through relationships.
So speaking of carvings, this was a gift that I received from you.
Yes.
Incredible detail, just very, very cool stuff. Really neat. And like you said, most of the way you market your product is with send-out cards, our relationship marketing system, and we'll kind of get to that here in a second. You have a great love of art, and it's fun to listen to you talk about art. Before the show started, you were telling us a little bit about Picasso and different things, and I love when people have passion for something, and I can learn from that passion. And we'll probably share some of your passion here on this show today. So you're an artist, you're passionate about it. There are a couple of things I want to talk about. You introduced me to a new word today. You said something about you with the card system, the greeting card system, you create provenance.
Yeah.
You help other artists to create provenance. Now, most people listening know what we know right now is that's a gorgeous word. I don't know exactly what it means. So can you share with us what you mean by creating provenance?
I would love to. So provenance is the story behind the artist and the work that the artist creates. The example we gave is Picasso. People pay lots and lots of money for those creations that he makes, but indeed we all know people who paint as well or better sometimes than Picasso did, especially in the styles that we find attractive. I, for one, don't find his work overly attractive. So what people pay those tens of millions of dollars for is not the oil on the canvas. They're paying for the Picasso in the corner because he contributed much to the art world and he's world famous. So that's the provenance, is what he did to become Picasso.
So you actually use cards to tell the story, to create that provenance. Can you get, I think you got something you could share with us. Just give us that.
I do. So this is the front of one card that I used to announce an art show overseas. Okay. And I'm not going to open it up. It's this threefold card. I can open it up real quick, but you can't read it. So right. It's the story of the artists that are involved. And I actually invited two other artists to be part of the show so that I could help them build their own provenance. And that's both of their first experience in showing art overseas.
That's interesting. I'm not, I would like to get more into art. I'm really not. I'm certainly a beginner or novice, if you will. But that is certainly the way I would like to be invited to go to a show, because if you know me, I'm big on stories. I love stories about everything. So if I can learn the story behind the piece before I go to see it, now it has relevance for me. Or maybe the word is prominent. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's super cool. And so you, in a very unique way, you use our relationship marketing system to tell the story, to get the story out there.
Yes.
You do a lot with invitations. Like you just showed us one, but you have several different announcements you've done. Can you share some of that?
I would love to do that as well. So, trying to get the glare off for you. This is announcement one of two I can show you. And here's the second one. So I have awards from Utah, Best of State, for my contributions to art in Utah. And obviously that, as an artist, that would be a significant thing to do, to, contribute at a state level. So I got, Dave Smith actually got to go with me one year to the gala where they presented the awards. And so when I make the announcement about the art, about the show, this is the inside of one of them. I also talk a little bit more about what's going on with upcoming exhibitions and invite people to attend them as well. So that's how I add the provenance. And so, it looks like it's not just, hey, it's me being an artist and love me. It's, it's more about the people who support me, and I'm inviting them to be part of my art world.
So you do a lot of announcements. You have lists of people that you send invitations to. I guess I should say invitations. What would be the average size of a list? What the average list size that you would send out, like an invitation to go to one of these events?
So obviously not all my patrons are in Utah, but I send invitations to all of them, again, to add the provenance, because that shows the validity of my art. So I send between 300 and 500 cards a couple times a year.
Wow, that's great. So you have a system here at Send Out Cards where you're able to do that. You have group lists and you're able to send those out, I'm probably still saying the wrong word a little bit wrong, but
Provenance.
Provenance. I love that. I absolutely love that. In fact, I'd like to figure out how to fit that into my speeches, because that's what marketing is. See, this is what's interesting. This is a relationship marketing show. People get on here to learn how they can better their relationships and better their marketing tactics so that they can get better return on investment, better results in their business. But that whole provenance thing is powerful, because that's what marketing is. Marketing is about telling a story. And that's very reflective in the art world, because there is no value to the paint on the canvas until you know the story. As soon as you know the story, then there's value. Isn't that the same in any business?
Yes, definitely.
Value until you know the story.
Yep.
So that's really powerful stuff. So you do a lot of other things. One of the things I noticed you showed me an example of before is with the service that you use, you have the ability to use the back of the card, and you can create your own branding on the back of the card. And I love the type of branding that you create on the back of the card, because you don't make it about you make it about the people who have contributed to you. You share that with us. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'll read it, and then I'll just hold it up real quick so people can see it. So at the very top, it reads, "For their contributions to my artistic success, I wish to express my profound gratitude." Very simple. So that's where it says across the top. And then all these people are significant as sponsors or patrons, or both. Some people collect as well as support my overseas efforts through art. And then there's the Best of State Award, which kind of, again, adds the provenance.
Right.
But these people know that they're significant. Some of them are businesses, so I'm actually supporting business owners with my thanking.
Yeah, that's super cool. Now, can you just share with us so that's an example of how you pay recognition to others who have contributed to you, which is incredible. What we teach here is what you send out in life comes back to you. What you appreciate appreciates. And Brian, you're a master at appreciating other people, so that's super cool. Can you just share with us what was that particular card? I believe that was an announcement of some kind. Can you share that with us?
Yes, it's an announcement for an 8-city photography exhibition. The quick version, me and a friend he's a Bulgarian photojournalist. He and I created it, and he and I worked in conjunction with each other. Each of us contributed 20 photographs of Bulgaria. He's a native and a photojournalist, so he thinks like a photojournalist more than an artist, right? I'm an artist and a visitor. So I contributed 20 shots, he contributed 20 shots. We made a 40 photograph exhibition all about Bulgaria.
Oh, that is so cool. And where was it located? Where was that at?
It was in 2 months in the Kody Center for the Arts in Provo. It just wrapping up at the Utah Cultural Celebration Center, just down the road from Send Out Cards.
Okay, excellent. So when you sent that invitation, how many people were on that list, just out of curiosity?
This one probably 700.
So 700 people were able to get the invitation to the exhibit, and they were exposed to all these people that you appreciate in your life. Powerful. I mean, that is just so incredible, and I'm sure those people appreciate so much that recognition, and it gives them exposure. It gives them exposure to other people as well. Everybody at the end of the day is seeking to build their network of people, and so you help them to do that.
Correct.
I tell you, this is fascinating. This is a very unique show today. A lot of unique examples how to use our system today, which I really appreciate, Brian. We got to get this out there. If those of you who are listening in, make sure that you share this with people and get people to come to this, because this is valuable information, especially if anybody who's in the art industry wants. The art business, I got to believe, is not the easiest business to market, is it? I mean, that's a tough industry.
Well, you definitely bring up a good point, because generally speaking, artists are not good at marketing. They want to create in their little cell and then kind of hurl it over the wall and let somebody else market it. And unless you're famous, no one's willing to dedicate the time and effort to market you.
Right.
So what I really am passionate about with your system is to teach all those non-marketing artists how to market in an hour a week.
Incredible.
Send a few cards, thank a few clients. When you made the ability to take photographs and put that on the front of a card, you never knew this, but you changed my whole marketing plan. Because now, let's use your statue as an example. I could take a photo of you if you bought that piece. I could take a photo of you on my phone, click, right? Here's you with the piece. And send you a thank you with Kody Bateman and his statue on the front. On the inside, I could write a little story about what you have and why. And then on the third page, I thank you for supporting the arts, and then I give credit to everybody who helps me. So now,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. So now you'd never throw that card away. Right. And there's a story if you want to hear it. Well, we talked a little bit about it, but about how that exact thing has led to referrals that have led to referrals that have led to referrals.
Well, that's the point I was going to make, is that I listened to what you just said. I received that card with me on the front showing this, and then you tell the story of it on the inside, and I see your contributors on the back. I just know that I'm like, you got me. I'm in. Hook, line, and sinker. I will promote you till the end of the world. You got to meet Brian Baity, man. This guy. Oh my goodness, because that's how impactful that kind of a touch is. I mean, it's just incredible. So, Brian,
can I relate that story though? It's really, I think it's important to see how people can use this.
Yeah.
You have a minute to tell you?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I have a little woman in California who found me through the internet before I had sent out cards or anything. She loved my work. She ordered a piece. I shipped it out to her, just a cardboard, maybe 6 inches in diameter, right? She put it on her mantle. She loved it. So, and she told me this story. That's how I know it. So again, before send out cards, I just mailed it off, and that was pretty much the end of it. Thank you for thank you so much through email, and that was the end of it. So she had a Christmas party. One of her guests said, "Hey, what's that on the mantle?" And she said, "Oh, it's a gourd. It's carved by some guy in Utah." I'm sure the conversation went like, "It's cool." Maybe they took it down and looked at it real quick, put it back up and onto the party. So move forward like 4 years. Now I've found send out cards, and I took a photo of the piece. I take photos of all my work before I mail them off. So I put that on the front. I couldn't put her photo, but it was still a photo of the piece. And again, on the inside of the card, a little bit about it, a little bit about why, and send it off to her. Well, she took that card and put it behind the gourd on the mantle.
Yeah.
At the party, someone says to her, another guest, "Hey, what's that on the mantle?" "It's cardboard. This guy in Utah does cards on. Here, check this out." And gets the card out, hands it to her. She reads the little thing, gets my contact information off the back, and calls me. I need what she has.
Wow.
So
That is a great story.
From that relationship, now she's referring, and then now those people are referring.
That is fantastic. Wow, what a great story. And I know you've got a lot of stories like that because you're in the habit of doing these things every day. Well, Brian, I've heard a lot about you. I've met you several times. I'd love to get to meet you and get to know you much better. What a fascinating gentleman you are, and appreciate your contribution to the show today. Any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with our listeners before we head off?
Stay in touch. Relationships. That's all that makes success. Literally, I really don't know how to put it another way. When I opened the Bulgaria art shows, the photography art shows, because I continually sending cards to Bulgarian venues that I've shown in the past. I continue to keep them in touch and what's going on, right? So I proposed, hey, I got this photo exhibition. I sent invitations to every place I've ever shown. 6 of them said, oh yes, please, let's take your show. They usually, artists have to pay, they waive the fees. They're like, when can you come?
Excellent.
It's all about relationships.
It sure is. Well, Brian Baity, thank you very much for being on the show today. All of you listening in, if you've got people that want to know or you want to know how Brian does all this stuff, you can certainly get with the person who shared this show with you today, and I'm sure they can help you out. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week on another wonderful version of Relationship Marketing Weekly. Take care now.
Thank you, Kody B.